Oh, you're here.
Yes, I am. This shop is really cool. I love the decor.
Thank you. It's taken a lot of years to get it the way I want.
I kind of imagined this is what an actual witch's shop would look like.
Yeah.
Seriously. You have all these herbs. Look, St. John's wort, mandrake root. You know, witches were just synonymous with people who used the old medieval ways of working with plants and animals, curing ills. They were healers, shamans, and confessors. You can see why some people might have been threatened by them.
I know, right? No leeches here, though. I draw the line at bloodsuckers. I'm glad you get it. A lot of people around here don't.
How so?
Some say I'm cashing in, not respecting history. People get so caught up in the death and judgment. But I was always interested in all of that lost knowledge, even as a kid.
I bet a lot of kids around here are fascinated by it.
Used to be.
Any modern witches come in? Olivia, perhaps.
I get plenty of people that come in curious to find something positive and healing in this town. Olivia typically isn't one of them, and that's just as well.
You disapprove of what she does.
She's always been like this. She thinks of history as a show that just needs more special effects. Never mind that real people got hurt. You've seen her little show? She's still talking about a recent coven in Salem.
Yeah. Is that true?
No. Like I said, she doesn't care about the truth or who gets hurt.
I was hoping I could borrow a key to the main Hawthorne House.
Key? Oh, I don't have a key anymore.
You don't?
No, but Alicia does. If you ask her, she'll lend it to you, I'm sure.
Everyone says there are ghosts in this town. Is that true? What is it?
You know, I believe the dead stay dead. But I've seen ghosts recently in my own house.
Really? Who?
Wait, you believe me? I thought I was going crazy.
I believe there's an explanation. Who was it?
I don't know. A woman, wearing old clothes like the kind you find in Teegan's museum. I couldn't see her face, and I swear she was real. I could hear her, I could feel her. She smelled like rotten fruit or something. You know, that gray, moldy smell that hits you in the back of your throat? Yeah, that.
Huh. That's pretty specific, actually. More specific than anyone else I've talked to.
I saw her in the Hawthorne House. Watch out for her. She'll come to you. No doubt in my mind.
I'm sure you've been asked this before, but where were you on the night Hawthorne House was burned down?
I was coming home from work, crossing through the cemetery. I could see the orange glow. By the time I got home, it was almost all gone. I called it in.
Were you the first one to call? Anyone see you earlier? Like an hour before?
I was in my shop.
Any customers?
No. Are you trying to say that I burned down the house?
No, I never said that.
Good. I've said it 1,000,000 times, but I'll say it again for your benefit. I'm just glad she wasn't alive to see it. She loved that house, and I loved her. You understand?
Of course. You were the first person to see the fire?
Well, yeah. I was going home, and that's where the fire was.
You know the fire might help you keep your home.
I know that now, but I didn't before. It's a slim chance at best. I'd rather it was whole and shown to be mine by right.
But if that's not an option?
Nothing could make me want to destroy it.
You remember where you were 3 nights back?
I was here. I told you already. I have the receipts to prove it. And I'm the only one who works here. Why?
Oh, no, just a related incident. I don't suppose there are any ghost sightings in your shop?
The spirits come and go as they please. I've seen them everywhere around Salem. But I've never seen one operate a point of sale.
Yeah, me neither. What kind of herbs do you have here?
The kind that helps people ease their burdens. Since cold season started, business has been booming. Between managing the shop itself and preparing remedies, it's getting harder to keep up.
I don't mind lending you a hand with preparing the remedies, if that's okay with you. I love learning new things.
This is delicate work. But you do seem to have an interest in herbology. Sure, it would be fun to pass on the basics, at least. I'll be around the shop and manage the counter. Just let me know when you have something finished, and I'll take a look at it.
Great. So, where do I begin?
I've prepared the patient notes already. You can find them on the counter. You can use my reference book to study the herbs and what ailments they cure, and the basics of remedy mixing.
Okay. This is gonna be so much fun. This book looks really worn. The knowledge must be centuries old, if not more. These are the notes she took when discussing the ailments with her patients. Need to figure out the proper mix of herbs to cure these. Chamomile. Garlic. Our Lady's Thistle. Sage. Ginger. Cinnamon. Feverfew. Our Lady's Thistle. Our Lady's... Our
Look at that. Your first proper herb mixture. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's tricky to keep track of everything, but the book really helps.
It's old and worn from use, but full of wisdom. It's taught me most of what I know.
A commercial-grade tea machine. Fancy.
help you?
Do you know Lauren Holt?
Owner of Luminous Infusions. Resident of the Hawthorne Estate Carriage House.
So do you know her?
Absolutely. I represent her.
How's the case going?
Well, that's a bit of a confidentiality issue. But you are the daughter of a lawyer. So, without a will, there is no case. No one has been able to find it.
And without the will, the house goes to the state.
The law is the law. I can try to get a delay. But we've already delayed twice, and the state doesn't care that someone lives there. It's a tough world out there.
I spoke with Lauren. She mentioned you have a key.
A key?
To the Hawthorne House.
It's the only copy. Don't lose it. Oh, and this really isn't supposed to be in your hands. If someone finds you with it, I might have to say you stole it.
I'll make sure to be discreet. Thanks.
Here to help, Nancy. Hey, next time, please knock before entering, okay?
See you later. A CCTV camera? There might be footage from the day of the break-in. Should ask the judge about this. The break-in was staged. The thief must have come in through the door. As you know, I want to investigate the crime scene. Could you give me the code for the keypad?
Oh, yes, about that. Well, you see, I had it written on a post-it note, but I seem to have misplaced it. It should be around here somewhere. Feel free to look.
Oh, okay. Don't worry about it. As you know...
Oh, yes, about...
Oh.
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now!
What do we want?
Locked. The key should fit, but the door and lock are awry. The door needs more leverage. Certainly looks hair-raising, even in the light of day. These snapdragons are lovely. At least some of them survived the fire. Snapdragons are lovely. This ought to help me out. Locked. Locked. Now this is more like it. Locked. There we go. Now it fits. The walls are still smoldering from the fire. It's making my eyes water. An old secretary desk. Roaring 20s, maybe. Walls are still... There's something peculiar about this mirror. Someone painted laurels on the mirror glass, but why? An old letter written in Francis Tuttle's own hand. A brand new jacket? Who would leave this behind? It's dusty. Dusty. Francis Tuttle needed this medical machine to stay alive. I wonder what will happen to it now.
Nancy, hey, how's the investigation going?
Pretty well. You know, it would really help if I could get May to talk to me.
She hasn't given her alibi yet.
No. And everyone seems to have one, except her.
Everyone? Is it possible that it could be someone from outside of town? A visitor or something?
Absolutely. But statistically speaking, crime is rarely a random occurrence.
It's a mystery to me. You have anything you wanted to talk about?
Do you remember what you were doing 3 nights ago?
3 days ago? Well, I was probably working here. Why?
You were working at the museum. Can anyone confirm that?
Well, I'm always here.
But was anyone else here?
May was home all day, laying low, and Olivia wasn't here either. I don't know where she was, to be honest. You'll have to ask her.
So no one can confirm that? And you're sure May was at home?
She's barely left the house since the incident. People here treat her like she has an infectious disease. It's awful. And I don't blame her if she wants to sit at home on her phone all day. Ugh. Her parents need to come home. Soon.
Where were you on the night of the fire?
I was at my boyfriend's watching a movie. Here, this is his number. You can ask him.
Have you been dating Damian for a long time?
Yeah, a couple years, I think. I like him. I mean, I really do. He listens to me. Yeah, he's great.
Was he with you the whole night?
I mean, most of the night. I don't think he's capable of arson, if that's what you're suggesting.
You trust him?
Absolutely, 100%. Go ahead, call him. You'll see. So, I gotta ask, what do you get out of this?
I get a lot.
Really? You travel around, talk to all these people, deal with all their problems, put yourself in harm's way?
Not always. All right, some of the time. I don't know. It's like there's these small obstacles that I enjoy working on, and they're interesting. But what I really love is the puzzle of humanity. What makes people tick? Why do people do what they do? It's always the hardest one to crack, because sometimes we do things that don't make sense. We're inherently irrational. Know what I mean?
You know, there's a theory about why these specific women were persecuted as witches. Some people believe that ergot, which is a fungus that grows in cereal grains, might have gotten into the food supply. It poisons anyone who eats it. Hallucinations, circulation issues, seizures. It would have made people look like they were possessed. Or made the judges think they were doing God's will. Or make the whole town go haywire.
A rational explanation for irrational behavior.
Just a theory. We'll never know. Anyway, I don't want to keep you. Thanks for stopping by.
What's the history behind the Hawthorne estate?
Right. Well, Judge John Hawthorne was born and raised in Salem. His father was a decorated military man who had many real estate holdings throughout New England. And when Judge Hawthorne became a justice, he tried to expand those holdings. Much of the land that the Hawthorne estate was built on was actually seized property from accused witches.
So awful. I think the land stealing part was even mentioned in Olivia's tour.
Didn't expect her to actually care about the history. At the time, no one made the connection, not even in court documents. But it happened.
Do you think the fire is somehow related to Salem's history with witches?
What do you mean?
Like, is it meant as a symbolic gesture? Because that's how most witches died?
That was a European thing. No, they were more civilized in the New World. We hung our witches. Short drop so they slowly choked to death. A couple more died in custody awaiting trial, and one, an elderly man who refused to testify, was pressed to death.
Pressed?
Yeah. They put a bunch of heavy stones on top of you, over a period of days.
That's horrible.
She did not know the weight until she felt the freedom. Scarlet Letter. Also a descendant of Judge Hawthorne. Except Nathaniel Hawthorne was so horrified with his family's history that he added a W to change it.
Wow. The focus on descendants isn't really something they teach you in school.
Yep. We think our world is so much more advanced now, but we have a hard time escaping our past.
How did Frances Tuttle come to own the property?
Ms. Tuttle bought it 30 years ago, cheap. It was falling apart. The former owners couldn't be located, so it was auctioned. She was a bit of a kooky lady living in a ruin like that, but she was kind. I mean, she took in Lauren like a daughter. That says something about someone, doesn't it?
I agree. Talk to you later.
Hello?
Is this Damian Faulkner?
Yeah? Who is this?
Hi, my name is Nancy Drew. I'm a private investigator currently working the Hawthorne House case on behalf of Judge Danforth. Do you mind if I take up a minute of your time?
Go ahead.
Just wanted to follow up on some statements.
Statements made by whom?
Teegan Perry,
Yes?
your girlfriend.
Right.
Where were you?
Sorry, but were these statements given to the police?
No. They were given to me, willingly.
Yeah, sorry. I work for Alicia, and I've learned to make sure that when you're being questioned, you always have a lawyer present. I don't want to sound like I'm guilty or complicit, I just know my rights.
Of course.
But you sound trustworthy.
Oh, thanks. How long have you worked for Alicia?
I've interned for her for a while, but she doesn't really pay attention to me.
You seem to know a lot about legal framework.
I listen to her on the phone. A lot. Anyway, I was with Teegan on the night of the fire. That's what you wanted to know, right?
Yeah. And what did you guys do?
Watched a movie.
Okay. Which movie?
Honestly, couldn't tell you. Teegan picks. You know, they're always some kind of vampire, drama, apocalyptic, teenagey, angsty thing. Don't tell her, but I never pay attention. I'm into hard sci-fi.
Oh, good to know.
Anything else, or...?
No. Thanks for talking to me.
Yep, sure. Bye.
Hi again. It's me, Nancy Drew.
Hello?
Oh, sorry. Time difference. My bad.
No problem. I assume you are calling because you have questions?
Yeah, I do actually, if you don't mind.
Please, go ahead.
What do you know about hauntings, ghosts, and global witch trials?
Ah, well, Mosam Castle is one of the most haunted castles in the world. Unsurprising, considering the amount of war and bloodshed around the castle. Witches, werewolves, ghosts.
Can you tell me more about the ghosts?
The reports are always similar. Sounds of bumps upstairs, footsteps in the hallways, doors opening and closing on their own. Some people feel a cold touch or a person breathing on them when nobody is near. Floating light orbs are also a common phenomenon in ghost sightings.
Do you believe these reports?
When claims remain this steady over the years, it's hard not to believe. But I do understand it is possible to fool your own senses when you expect something to happen. The mind is suggestible that way.
Like the way we recognize faces in random shapes and patterns. We look for sense in the incomprehensible.
Perhaps like that. I can't say for sure.
Werewolves too? Wow.
Yes, in the 19th century, deer and cattle were found torn apart in the area around the castle.
But that could have been any wild animal.
Indeed. Imagination runs wild when people are afraid.
Thank you for your time. I gotta go.
You're welcome, Miss Drew. Let me know what you find out.
I will. Have a nice night.